So I watched Heated Rivalry. I have been literally dying for romance to come back, and hot damn did it ever with this show. Let me start by saying I haven't read the books, so if anything I say in this video is inaccurate according to the books.
Okay.
Christopher Kip Grady. He was the best and most essential character of Heated Rivalry. You cannot change my mind, so let's talk about it. Kip is the everyman. While certainly anyone can find some relatability in any one of the characters, the majority of us normies who watch the show cannot relate to being a celebrity or an extremely talented athlete or being wealthy enough to have several homes. Most people, however, can relate to Kip. Working several jobs, working service jobs for people who suck, stressing out about school, stressing out about how to afford to pay for school, all of the above. And because Kip is the everyman, the love story between Kip and Scott fills all the fantasy niches related to being normal and having someone above average be into you, and it hits that much harder. Being noticed by someone hot and rich and talented while you feel so normal and unimportant, it gives you that moment of,
am I better than everyone?
This is literally the bulk of the plot of more smutty romances than I can even count. But Kip never assumes he's special, and even has a hard time believing that he could be so lucky as to get Scott's affection. Kip literally says,
I can't believe you're even into me.
Because you see, our Kip is a humble guy, which makes him that much more endearing, both to the audience and to Scott. At 6 episodes, this was not a long season of a show by any stretch, but they took all of one episode to make us give a shit about this couple who is not our main couple, and I think they succeeded. And I think it's mostly because of Kip. Because while we also want happiness for Scott and to see him live an honest and open life, Kip is us. Kip is representative of the bulk of the audience, and what we really want is to see someone normal get what they want for once in a big way. And let's be real, in the romance genre, you don't get bigger than rich, hot, and talented, successful man completely changing his own personal rules in order to publicly declare his love for you. Until you get to the fantasy romance genre where this would happen, but you'd also find out you have magic or something like that. But let's just focus on sports romance. For this genre, this is peak. And it's because Kip is humble, and because he's so refreshingly normal, and because he's someone who gives without expectations, which the show paints a pretty clear picture, so out of the norm from what Scott is used to at this point in his life. It's because of all of this that Scott is finally inspired to do what would have felt unthinkable before and change his entire public image for many reasons, but largely, and he himself points to this in his MVP acceptance speech, largely it's due to Kip. To keep him around, to not risk losing him, to be able to be normal and live a life in public with him. And look, let me say that obviously in real life, I would never condone being with someone who needs you to be a secret. And if Kip were my friend in real life, I'd be like, dude, absolutely not. Stop being so accommodating. I don't actually think it's healthy or okay to give and give and give and receive back crumbs in a relationship over a long period of time. But I also think that the romance genre doesn't exist to fulfill all our real world expectations. It's escapism, plain and simple. And it's pretty obvious by the success of this show and how amped people are getting about other romances that are coming out. No matter how toxic they might be, that we are in desperate need of some escapism these days, and who can really blame us? That's all I have for now. I just really wanted an excuse to talk about this show and my new favorite character for a few minutes. Like and subscribe if you wish. Bye, y'all.